Let's see here. Yo, yo, yo. Gonna try to storyboard. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. It's a little better. Alright. Let's see how my brush does. Hey, Ochang, what's up? I'm still in the market for a new computer, but I'm gonna try to storyboard because I need to get this done. I'm about 30 seconds into a minute and a half long storyboard.
Then what is that?
All right. Hey, Marby, have a good day at work. Hey, Charles. Jesus 2 was taken down. There's reasons for that. I'm in contract negotiations with a streaming service who want to host it. So I only put it up for a week while it was in contention for getting nominated for an Oscar. In order to sort of generate hype around it. But I have to sort of honor the contract that I'm currently in negotiations about. So I've got like some congestion going on. On top of that, it got hit with a age restriction on YouTube that really throttled its ability to like reach new audiences, and so I think I'm going to re-upload it, but with like censor bars and stuff like that at some point. So that it can pass as a, you know, PG-13 kind of thing. So we got our little guy saying, "What, this?" And he's pointing to his belly button. But let me see what composition I can use here, because I don't want to pick a new composition every time. Where's it? Probably this, but all right. So I'm gonna put in. I have to stage everything. Yeah, mostly I was trying to reach out to get people in the industry to watch it. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I wish there was a video service where I didn't have to censor that actually people looked at. I mean, sort of Vimeo is sort of that, but you know, from what I can tell, like nobody really looks at Vimeo. Nobody really looks at Vimeo. I mean, I have a Vimeo account, and I find it hard to browse to see what other people are doing. I just don't really understand the user interface of Vimeo very well. But I did have a Vimeo representative reach out to me who wanted to do a staff picks thing. It's Vimeo kind of pales in comparison to YouTube as far as like browsing goes. But hold on, I'm just gonna get some water really quick. Sorry. Okay, coming back. I'm back. Um, yeah, Vimeo. I was using Vimeo. I have it privated on Vimeo so that I can submit it to film festivals and stuff like that. That's what I've been doing for the past year. But I haven't made it public because it's still playing in festivals. I'm actually going to do a presentation of it, Q&A in LA on January 9th, I think. But I don't really understand Vimeo as a platform. Like, I think they could be doing a lot more to compete with YouTube. But maybe they're not interested in that anymore. I don't know. Yeah, Mubi. Let me get a character reference here. Make sure I'm doing this at least like somewhat on model. There we go. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Winjo. So right now I'm making a storyboard for. Sorry, I feel like I've got like dried snot in the back of my throat. Thanks for the follow. What part of the world do you live in, Flying Snake? What's up, Kato Project? Oh, Brazil. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if my film made it to Brazil. Okay, so we got this guy. So I'm making this. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let's see here. Yeah, I need to get a new computer. Like, if you guys, I don't know if you guys can tell, but when I'm trying to stream and I use Storyboard Pro, my pen is like a second behind. What's up, Brad McLovin? Yeah, I've maxed out the RAM on my computer. I've got like a 2017 iMac, and I added. It was like 8 gigs of RAM, and I've got like 30. I upgraded it to like 30 something gigs of RAM, but I think it's really just the GPUs at this point. So I'm looking at getting a new computer. The VTuber thing I do is some plugin that's in OBS. It's super basic. I drew like 5 mouth poses and made a blink animation. Yeah, I might get a Mac Studio, to be honest. I'm seeing some on sale. Just like a basic base model M4 Mac Studio, I might go for it because they're about like $2,000. And I think it'll give me all the headroom I need to run all these programs at once. Let's see here. Yeah, I know. There's a whole argument about like building my own PC and all that kind of stuff, but I'm so integrated into the Apple, like, you know, I'm like one of these like typical held hostage by the Apple ecosystem guy. I don't know if there's much I can do about it now. I'd have to like, it'd be really tough for me to make the transition. Have I seen Bravest Warriors? Yeah, a long time ago. I watched a bunch of Bravest Warriors. So let me get this. Get this expression correct here. He's saying, "What this?" and he points to his belly button. I think it would be funny to, my friend my friend Akko did a present art talk one time, and she is a karate black belt, and she did a like a karate demo as part of her artist presentation. It'd be funny if I did like a Steven Seagal type, a bunch of people like running at me, and just like me like throwing them over and over again as part of a artist talk. That would be pretty sick if I could get like 20 people to agree to doing that. That'd be pretty hard. I think if I did an artist talk in LA, I could get a bunch of my jiu-jitsu buddies to agree to do something stupid like that, maybe. Who had the biggest influence on my art style? I think there's a lot of influences on my art style. I don't know. I think I'm sort of a combination of being influenced by like old underground cartoonists and like Robert Crumb and Peter Bagg and stuff, and then so I keep having to blow my nose. And then like the early 2000s era, like East Coast Providence art scene, like the Four Thunder scene. And then people like Alejandro Jodorowsky. And then I was influenced a lot by movies, by film, because I used to want to be a live action film director. Did I catch Scavenger's Reign? I did catch a couple episodes of it, but I haven't watched the whole thing. So sorry, this is taking me a long time to get settled into storyboarding here, but I really feel like I've got something lodged in the back of my throat. Do I plan on turning Jesus 2 into a full series? Yes. So I wrote a full feature-length film, like an outline of a full movie, which I wrote with my brother Justin, and Penn Ward helped write the third act with me. And then I've written a 1-season, like 8-episode season arc as well. And I'm in contract negotiations right now. I would say I was really heavily influenced by the comics anthology Kramer's Ergot. So not just people coming out of Four Thunder, but in particular Kramer's Ergot, like 4, 5, and 6 probably. So people like CF, people like Matt Brinkman, but in general, a lot of just what was happening at that time. I don't know what's going on. I must have slept with my mouth open last night and just like everything dried in the back of my throat. Sorry to be disgusting. Okay, so this guy He's saying, "What, this?" And he points to his belly button. Oh, one second. Alright. So let's see if I can accomplish doing 2 poses here. I mean, I was sort of like influenced by the noisy aesthetics of Brian Chippendale. All those guys, like, at least the energy of it kind of like influenced me, but I think I also was really heavily influenced by like people like Masaki Yuasa and even like Tezuka and even it might be weird to say. Well, no, I'm not going to say it. Just keep it off the stream. I mean, I was even influenced by like people like who influenced CF, like Henry Darger and stuff. And then in general, like influenced by like H.R. Geiger, H.R. Geiger, and of course like Mobius and influenced by Dash Shaw. Clive Barker, maybe in a really subtle way. I haven't watched that much Clive Barker, but I did like looking at through his sketchbooks and his sort of like weird horror fetish stuff. Shintaro Kago. I don't know Shintaro Kago. What did they do? I really liked Clive Barker's Nightbreed, that movie. Okay, let's see. I guess I'll get rid of this too. Alright. Oh, I'm not familiar with Kago's work. Oops. What's up, Outer Signal? Do you think Georgia O'Keeffe was a Bruja? I don't know. I don't know that much about Georgia O'Keeffe besides her flower paintings. I don't know. I don't know her interest in witchcraft. Alright, so he's gonna point down at his belly button and then look up incredulously. This is gonna do a DreamWorks eyebrow. Huh? Oh, okay. I had someone, I read online someone like describing the way I storyboard and saying I do like a limited set of expressions. Like my eyebrows, I always draw eyebrows just no matter what's going on, everybody's eyebrows just like look like this. You know, I just do the arched eyebrows for everything. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I really had a good time working on Sausage Party. Hey, thanks. I'm glad you liked, thanks for watching Jesus too. Forming is a graphic novel of mine that is coming out next year through Fantagraphics Books. This is a Wacom I'm working on. I've had my trusty Wacom for a bunch of years now. I basically just copied the setup that they had at Cartoon Network. I just bought the exact models of everything and it's for my home studio. Because I didn't know what to get, and I went down like a crazy rabbit hole of like trying to figure out what the best setup would be. And I was like, well, the setup at Cartoon Network works, so I'll just copy that. I don't know if you guys can hear the voice acting here, or maybe I can change the levels a little bit. Can you guys hear that?
Then what is that?
Okay, cool. I might have to put subtitles on this one because my friend who did the voice of this character was doing like a really shitty Russian accent, and some of it is like you can't tell what she's saying. This is the Wacom I'm using is the forget what model it is. Let me look it up. Hey, thanks for the subscription. Alugu is like a he's a little sneaky gaslighting character. Thanks for the Prime sub. Alien E, hey, if you want a tarot reading, let me know. If you got a question, I can do a reading for you. What? I have to look at my orders. Or my orders. Wacom. I got a Wacom Cintiq Pro 24. Back in 2022, I got this thing. I had another Wacom before, but I had a Wacom Cintiq 22 HD 21-inch display, but my girlfriend at the time took it to Denmark because she was doing an art animation residency, if I remember correctly, and it broke on the plane trip over, so I had to get this one. But this one's been doing great for me. I love this Wacom. Anyway, so I can't dig in too much to these storyboards because while I'm streaming, my shit draws super slow. So basically, the story of this is that these two people are fighting because Aoga was cheating on the bigger guys with his wife, but just emotionally. They were just emotionally cheating. and then Aoga's trying to make this case. He's saying, I don't even have any reproductive organs to cheat with. And then he's like, what is that? And he points to his belly button, and he's like, that's my belly button. And then it just keeps escalating. I'm making this for A Studio Digital. They're like a platform on Instagram and YouTube and stuff that make shorts. So I'm making this for them. Alright, so then I'm gonna go even more close up. And I have to, that's why I have these panels to make sure I can do both vertical and horizontal layouts. So I have to make sure everything fits within that cross section. Yeah, I've never tried any other tablets. All right. So he's pointing at his belly button. That looks like something else. Yeah, Joni Peppers. I really like Joni Peppers. Joni Peppers. I have a lot of thoughts about Joni Peppers because I'm friends with people that are friends with them, and um, Joni makes so much stuff. Is so prolific. Um, and I kind of wish that Joni would slow down and actually promote, like, spend more time promoting their work before moving on to another project. Yeah, I'm going to move this up a little bit to make it a little bit more ambiguous. Like, what's going on here, you know? Alright. And then like I'll see trailers that Joni puts out for like a feature film that they made or whatever, and it'll just be like random shots from the film with music overlaid, and you have no idea what's going on. You know, I think if they had someone helping them with like promotion, they could really become like I don't know. I think their work would be way more like widely recognized. Alright, I'm gonna have them like pointing to it and pushing it, and then it's gonna do a little like diving board spring action here. Oops. Oops. This is Rat McLovin. This is based on a little comic strip I did on Instagram probably like 3 years ago, and I just always like, I'm gonna do something with this. And since I'm just making these shorts for A Studio Digital, I didn't want to give them anything that was like I was too heavily invested in, you know? Just like a funny, stupid skit, you know? Uh, in this cartoon style, gosh, I don't know. I feel like I'm barely drawing in a cartoon style right now. I'm just like trying to get the drawings down. I'm just trying to communicate something that's like readable. Let's see, let's just redraw it. This is disgusting. What am I drawing right now? Alright. So... let's see. A bit more like that. Oh yeah, he's got an Audi belly button. Alright, and then I'm gonna duplicate this panel because it's gonna like wobble like a... Let's see. Oops. I just try to think of like the most basic shapes to communicate what I'm trying to communicate, you know? Like in the most efficient shape language possible. So I can get into the fun of movement rather than like worrying about details and stuff. Okay. Let's see what's going on here.
That's my.
All right. And then we'll just have it settle in the middle. Oops. Bigger. I'd love to have more engagement because that means Twitch can pay me money. And YouTube. And I can work towards being more independent. But I don't think that's a thing I can really force. I'm not really sure, like, you know what I mean? All I can do is kind of make what I make and try to put it out there and be at least like somewhat consistent in like how I share my work. And then beyond that, I don't know. You know, I don't have the time or resources to really brute force the algo. So, you know, I can do stuff like this where I stream and share my process and, you know, talk to people on Discord, and anytime I have a new thing, I can put it on my YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But beyond that, like, I really don't know what else I could do besides, you know, I don't think it would benefit me to be one of those like 8 hours a day streamer kind of people. I mean, maybe it would, but I don't know, you know? To answer Magnum's question, there are some disciples that are in the story. There's Peter is in it. Peter, in the short, he's the guy who's like crucified on the wall inside Jesus Tube's cube. But I'm just glad that people, you know, at least like some people are interested in what I'm up to. Oops. Come on. Come on. The combo of the pen delay on here is killing me. Yeah, Johnny Pemberton's character is Peter the Apostle. Let's see what's going on here.
That's my out. That's my out. That's my out. That's my out. That's my out.
All right. We'll have it just a little bit. Settle. One more settle pose here. If I just turn into Anthony Fantano hater channel. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've thought about doing like a podcast with a couple other animation buddies, professionals, who the whole point is just us talking shit, mad shit. and becoming like known as the biggest assholes in animation, and then you know, like using the dark side of the force to hit the algo. Yeah, I'm really like I'm actually like I'm a pretty like anti like in my own art practice doing any sort of fan art. Yeah, I just don't want to appeal to the dark side of the force, you know? Like, I just don't think it's good for the health of the society. I mean, I definitely talk shit, like, in private, and I think a lot of people do, but I just don't think it's good to put that out there in the world. You know. It would be funny that, you know, I was gonna do a thing where it was gonna be like anonymous. We would disguise our voices and I've had there were some people commenting, Meowzord. There were some people commenting who were not happy about what I was doing. Actually, what's scarier is the people who are like sometimes like too into what I'm doing, and I've had like people. I was worried that we're gonna like come like fucking murder me in my sleep.
That's my outer belly button. Wait to go.
Alright, so we made a little cute little. What am I doing?
Belly. That's my outer 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 belly. That's my outer.
Alright. It's the little things, you know, that bring you joy. The ship was, so, okay, hold on one second. Let me just, I'll answer your question in a second here. So the ship, I can actually probably maybe walk you through it a little bit. Let me just get rid of this overlapping line just for my own, the sake of my own personal. I'll show you some concept stuff that happened with that ship. Or like where it started. Oops. Okay.
That's my outer belly. 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 That's my outer.
All right. Save it. Yeah, I'll show you the models, how the models get developed for the Smuggle Brothers ship. So, let's see. Hold on, just gotta go through my files real quick. 3D assets. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. Sorry, I'm talking to myself, but I'll show you in a second. Because there's an original ship. Is it here? Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, I'll show that, and then okay. So let me show the storyboard too, actually. Okay, so originally, I'll just walk you through this. Oh, CO Chang. Originally, this is the original storyboard. And the animatic that I made during the pandemic when I was just sitting in my house with nothing to do. And yeah, my wallpaper is Holy Mountain. And okay, so this is all that, and then it's the angel scene. And this is the original painting I did, like the original concept art I had for this inside garden, rotating garden. And I had to repaint this after I figured out some problems with it. And I started changing the way I was approaching drawing backgrounds and stuff. Anyway, so we get to the ship, which is here. Okay. So this is the original what genre would you call it? My friends tried to define the style. I call it it's like mystical or spiritual sci-fi. Sort of in the same, I would say, I would put myself in the same lineage as things like Fantastic Planet and a lot of like heavy metal stuff from the 70s. So these were my original drawings that I did. And based on that, I reached out to a 3D artist named Jordan Spear. Oh, actually, you know what? I reached out to my friend John, from who I went to art school with, before I reached out to Jordan Spear. So these are my just like sketches, you know. I reached out to my friend John. I was like, do you know anyone that could do a 3D model of this so it can hold together a little bit better? And so my friend John reached out to our old buddy from, I went to Pratt in Brooklyn. He reached out to Tim, who I hadn't talked to in years. And Tim did a 3D build of the ship, maybe in like Cinema 4D or something. I'm not sure what he was using. But he made this. Oh, fuck. Hold on. The fuck. So he made this. That's one play blast he did. Hold on one second. Let me find. Is this it? He made this thing. Oops. Damn it. One second. He made this thing that I could like turn around in space. And just like be able to like trace it, you know? But it was like pretty basic shape, just like it basically looks like a weird chess piece, you know? No, not Tim Samuels. I don't even know where Tim lives. I haven't talked to Tim in probably like 15 years, but through John, Tim built this thing for me. And then when I wanted to make the finished short, I was like, okay, I have this thing I can give to a 3D, like a real like 3D modeler who would like really dig into this. So then I reached out to Jordan Spear, who I really love his work, and he made a short film called Sunbelly. You should check out. I think it's on YouTube. So Jordan then built. He built. Let's see. Was it this? So he built this. And he put a bunch of what they call in the Star Wars language greebles on it. And he built that in Cinema 4D, I think. And then we had this guy named Kevin Bissell try to put a clay texture on it. And I think, oops, was it this? No texture. And then we were putting a boil on it. We were trying to figure out like how many frames to put a boil on it. I think we ended up doing like maybe like every 6 frames, putting a boil on the clay. Yeah, and we put it on a test background to see how it would how we could light it and all this kind of stuff to integrate it into the background. And then inside, you can see inside here, I put a 2D drawing background of Sunday sitting inside the cockpit. So we didn't have time to do like a full 3D, like a fully like modeled clay thing. I would love to have, but we watched, we saw the Worthy Kids claymation, fake claymation short. I forget what it's called, Captain something, Captain, yeah, Captain Yoshimoto or something like that. What's it called? If you guys know. And that was so convincing that we were like, we should do that. So, yeah, that's how. And we did the same thing with Earth and the Moon. Like, this was all 3D. Which, this is a little more obvious because, man, we really struggled with these clouds on Earth. Like, we did a bunch of different iterations on this to try to get it to match my original 2D illustration. But never quite dialed it in. But I really liked how the moon came out. But the guy who helped me with all this was this another 3D animator named Tom Coben. So he kind of took what Kevin Bissell and Jordan Spear did and then sort of like finalized it. And then we did a bunch of lighting tests. Yeah, these are all the different Boyle tests that we did. Just to figure out, like, you know, the idea of that someone would be, as it turns, like someone would be touching the clay with their hands and it would slightly change the topical texture. But we did want it to change so much that it looked like overdone. Yeah. What is this? Yeah, we messed with. There's a bunch of different versions that we did on this ship. I would love to have. I would love to have done it with real clay, but at the time I really didn't know any studios or people doing something like this that could dig in that with that amount of detail. Captain Yojima, yeah. Captain Yojima is like the highest bar of accomplishing that look. I honestly don't think we achieved that level, but we got pretty close. I think if I had had more time and money, we could have really dialed it in, but everything budget-wise was just me spending every last dollar trying to get it to the finish line. Do you have any ideas for the minor arcana? I do. I have some notes on the minor arcana. I just don't have time to do something like that currently. I mean, it would be such a major. It'd be such a major project for me. Probably would take me upwards of 5 to 10 years to finish. I just don't know if I have the time. Yeah, to be honest. Maybe if I end up retiring from animation, I could finish it. Let's see where we're at here. So I want to hold this shot until she finishes saying belly button.
That's my out the belly button. That.
All right, cool. Do I have any merch available? No. Fuck. I really need to get on the merch game. I know there's so much, so many like independent animation people. Like our companies like rely solely on merch to keep their productions afloat. But I can barely like actually just like get my creative work done, let alone invest time in making cool merch. I feel like I need someone to help me. I need like a business partner. I have made merch over the years, yeah, and I used to have like a what do you call it, what's an online store that everyone uses, Shopify. I used to have a Shopify store with like drop shipping shirts, you know, you just upload the design or whatever. But I was never like totally happy with that stuff. I wanted to make more boutique-y, like you know, screen printed shirts and stuff, like stuff that really feels good to wear. And I was looking into that stuff because my friend Rebecca Kirby was making really sick shirts. She's the one that makes those like muscle girl, big boob girl shirts that you see people like Stavros Halkias wearing. And she was working through a company, I forget what they were called, a screen printing company that went through a huge like controversy right when I was like going to ask for their services, but they basically like collapsed as a company due to some like weird like union drama between the owner and the employees. So all that shit just fucking exploded, and then I don't know. I just don't know if I have the like. I don't know. I should just be on top of that stuff, but I feel like it's hard enough for me to even, you know, when Jesus 2 became eligible for an Oscar, like I had to scramble asking people for advice on what to do. I feel like I'm doing everything by the seat of my pants all the time. And it's just, you know, my main focus is making stuff. Yeah. So like Pika Petey said, I need someone to manage that. I need like a manager, but I need to be sustainable enough to have a manager who wants to do that kind of stuff. It has to be, I don't know, it have to be someone who like, I don't know. I used to kind of have one, this guy named Jono, who was like helping me with merch and stuff like that. I guess the idea would be like I would have a manager, and then we would just like split the profits basically, like maybe 50-50 or something like that. That way he would feel incentivized to make cool merch and stuff, and then I could focus on making art. Yeah, so I just gotta find one of those guys. But I don't have one currently, it's just me. I'll be right back, I gotta pee. Alright. Yeah, I need to be able to make... I think if I can make some cool... like action, not action figures, but like toys, like display toys and plushies and t-shirts and stuff. That would be sick. I mean, I'm developing a new Sofubi toy with my buddy Wonder Goblin, but those are like so boutique. Those are like, you know, we only make editions of 100 of them, and they're like pretty expensive, and it's more just like more of a, what do you call it, passion project than anything that actually makes income. It's more like a break-even kind of situation. So yeah, I don't know. I wish I could talk to some of those glitch guys about like how well they're monetizing with their plushies and all that kind of stuff. But you know, those glitch guys, I feel like they're in a totally different stratosphere than me. So, all right. So what happens after this?
Way to go, body shaming me, Peter.
Okay, way to go, body shaming me, Peter. So. So let me find a I don't think there's enough demand for my tarot deck to do another print run. I'd have to do another print run of like 500, and I feel like, you know, people hit me up about it every once in a while, but it's like very, very few and far between, and I just think I reached the amount of people that were mostly interested in that kind of thing. Yeah, the glitch guys are very, very business oriented. They're very smart. Yeah, I finished the tarot deck a while ago, and they sold out a while ago. Okay, maybe I'll do a shot like this for the next shot. I need to reuse my staging, you know. So I'm gonna reuse this. Yeah, I don't think NFTs are gonna ever make a comeback. I think it's sort of donezo. It was like a moment in time where maybe that was like going to be a way to fund projects, but none of this stuff is. I actually watched a video about it. It's like none of this stuff is actually sustainable. It's all just like one-off things that rely so much on crowdfunding for indie stuff, and I think crowds only have so much resource. And then maybe you have enough resource to make like one thing, and then you have to go to other resources, either institutional resources or angel investor resources, or you know. So that's why Jesus 2 is like, I'm trying to get money from this startup streaming company. And I think I'm really close, actually. So yeah, because I don't want to keep I don't want to keep begging for money from my audience. Like, you know, it's like too much of a burden on the audience. Like, I want to be able to provide make cool shit for people to watch without them feeling like they have to support my life. You know, like that could be a component of it, but I don't think I can't rely on that exclusively. That's what I'm thinking. I just don't think it's sustainable, you know. But I think we're all kind of figuring this out, like in real time. Like the whole world is sort of independent animation is trying to figure out what the best thing to do is. So something like there. Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I've seen audiences be super generous about helping because everyone wants new shit, right? Everyone wants new ideas to happen. And I think, yes, like, there is definitely, like, crowdfunding is really powerful. But at the same time, like, I don't think, like, every creator can rely on exclusively crowdfunding. I think that's like one avenue or income stream, but I don't think you can cover everything or cover a whole series for everybody. Wait, Disney on Ice? So if I can get Jesus 2 on Ice? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've seen stuff like that, but the thing is, I don't mean to keep saying but, like, I don't want to keep saying no, you know, but the tarot deck, I spent so much time thinking about the materials and the paper and the feel of it, and it just would be hard for me to do a print on demand kind of thing and feel good about it. Yeah, I think all the indies are kind of figuring out how to be sustainable. Even a show like Lackadaisy or whatever, who raised, what did they raise? Like $2 million to make a series. It still wasn't enough, and they have to kind of survive off of merch sales to like actually finish the series out, you know. And everybody's getting super underpaid. So they're just doing it out of the love of the game, you know, love of the art. And the kind of salaries they're paying themselves are like super unsustainable. Yeah, just like seemed like a crazy grind in order to make something that polished looking. I don't know what the solution is really. So right now I'm making a storyboard, really slowly storyboarding a 1 minute short I'm trying to make for A Studio Digital. Although I haven't talked to those guys in weeks, and I hope they still want me to do this. If not, I'll put this on my own YouTube channel.
Where to go? What say?
Okay, so he's saying, way to go body shaming me. No, I wasn't further along with this. Jesus 2 will be I think we'll be streaming on a platform early next year. Early, maybe in January, I think. That's the information I'm getting currently. So keep an eye out for that. I'll make announcements and stuff, but I might put a censored version up on YouTube because I just don't want to get what do you call it? Slapped with a content ban. Age restriction. Yeah, too cool for YouTube. I am working on another short. I'm working on 2 more shorts and a teaser trailer for a Jesus 2 series. What kind of music do I like? I listen to a lot of like prog rock. But to be honest, like lately I've been listening to a lot of Blonde Redhead for some reason. I've just been listening to all their albums. Let's see. And I've been listening to Danny Brown too recently a lot. Doesn't look sad enough. I love Kate Bush, yeah. I especially love the album The Dreaming. I was just talking to my friend Mike about Kate Bush the other day. So I've been listening to his newest one, Stardust. I've been kind of like, every time I get in the car, I just put it on and listen through it. I was a huge fan of Scaring the Hose. Thank you, Drew's last. I really like him in JPEG Mafia. I'm not pretending to know that much about current things happening in hip hop, but I do like those guys. Alright, let's see if I can get even more exaggerated here. I hope we get a part 2. It seemed like I heard some drama, something like JPEG was talking shit on Danny Brown for some reason. But yeah, Scaring the Hose was maybe my favorite album of 2023 also. So good. Production on it is amazing. It'd be great to have a part 2. Let's see here. But if you want me to recommend a prog album, I recommend a band called Aksak Mabul, one of my favorite prog bands. AKSAKMABOUL. I used to listen to Danny Brown's podcast, but I've found that it seems like he, for the past year, has just been phoning it in. And it's not really fun to listen to anymore. Maybe because he's sober. That could be a part of it, unfortunately. It just seems like he wants to get out of there as fast as possible. It would be great if he always like bounces after 45 minutes, and when the other person seems like ready to keep going, you know? Yeah, I think JPEG is like a slightly, maybe like low-key unhinged person a little bit. That seems like it. But what can you do, you know? Just have to wait for them to Just like basically don't pay attention to any artist's social media and just like wait for their stuff to come out. Essentially. I think sometimes, you know, there's a thing to be said about like what it takes to be the kind of person that make really significant work. And sometimes that means being sort of like an unhinged person, maybe even like there's like a touch of narcissism, like sociopathic, that's like required in a way. This is Toon Boom Storyboard Pro, which is weirdly more difficult to use while streaming than a full animation program like Harmony. Alright, and then just gonna look back in anger here. I don't think Aogu never. I think Aogu kind of wins this exchange through the power of gaslighting. I didn't draw any reactions from Peter, but
Peter. Wait, God, what is shaming me, Peter? Wait, God, what is shaming me, Peter? Wait.
All right. Then maybe I'll make some reactions from Peter here. At least in the, let's see here.
Wait, God.
So Peter might be like, let's see. Leaning in a little bit to well, then feels kind of trying to make Peter feel a little bad about what's going on. Like somehow this is all his fault. Alright.
Peter, wait, God, what is shaming me, Peter? Wait, God, what is shaming me, Peter? Wait, God.
Alright. Save it. Alright, what happens next?
Peter.
I'm not stupid, Aogu. That's your penis.
Alright. So we'll do a close-up of Aogu crying. Just for like 2 beats. Too real. Oops, drew this on the wrong layer.
I'm not.
All right. Are there any cartoonists you like? Yeah, I like a lot of cartoonists. What do you mean cartoonists I like? Like famous ones? There's so many cartoonists. There's so many cartoonists I like. That looks terrible. Whatever, it's like a placeholder.
I'm not. I'm not.
The ones I like the most. Let's see. I really admire Peter Chung, guy who created Aeon Flux. I like Felix Colgrave. I like Katsuhiro Otomo. I like Masaki Yuasa. I like Richard Corbin. I like Simon Beasley. I like Olivier Schrauen. I guess I'm getting into comic book artists. I don't know if that's what you're asking. I feel like every year there's like some superstar coming out of Gobelin. You know, that's like hard to deny. Yeah, like I like all those guys from that are part of the French collective Remembers Productions. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Ralph Bakshi. Who else do I like? I like the collective. I think they're in Argentina. Rudo Co. I think they make really cool stuff. I like Joe Kappa. I like Zach and Michael from Smiling Friends. And then there's just a bunch of cartoonists in LA who I'm huge fans of, like Nick Edwards and Tom Herpich and Abby Magno, Sam Lane. Yeah, so many talented people. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that answers your question. Charles Wetner, all the Green Street guys, the guys that make Common Side Effects and Scavengers. Yeah, I like all those guys. Alright, so then we'll pick another shot, then a reuse shot. Let's see here. Oh, maybe I'll do a... No, I should do a close-up. And then I'll cut to a wide. Hey, here we go. I'll use this. Well, I've entered in some sort of like hospital hold music. I wasn't even paying attention. What the fuck? Let's move. Let's go move on to something else. Yeah, Common Side Effects was one of my favorite shows of this year. Yeah, this is Toon Boom. And then it kind of gets into a maybe a more like deadpan pose here. In his beach. We live in this beach. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Not stupid, owl. That's stupid, owl. Not stupid, owl. Who? That's your. I'm not stupid, owl. Who? That's your. I'm not stupid, owl. Who? That's.
No, I don't. I don't listen to Earl Sweatshirt. Yo, what's up, Tumis Sangchuan? Yeah, I haven't really tried listening to Earl Sweatshirt. But on these streams, I found that listening to these like new age compilations, I don't get copyright dinged. So it's easy for me to just put on these like 4-hour new age ambient albums. Oops. User interface designs? No. Why, do you think I should do user interface designs? I think about user interface designs when I'm playing video games. And I think about, you know, what's good and what feels bad. And I think about user interface when I'm using Blender, and I wish that they would clean up their user interface a little bit.
Who? That's your. Stupid. Who? That's your. Not stupid, owl. Who? That's your penis. I'm not...
Well, you can always You can always transition into doing cartoons. But, you know, UX design is an important thing.
That's your penis. Penis. Your penis. Penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that... I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis.
I think this post should go down further. I'm not stupid. And then come back up.
I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your
Here, maybe?
penis. 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 I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your 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 penis.
Oh yeah, his new game looks fucking sick. I mean, just from that trailer. So maybe here. And actually make it here. And then make this lower.
I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid.
I don't know, something about this isn't feeling right, but
I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid, Aohu, that's your penis. I'm not stupid.
alright. If he shook, if he did like a rattle. Have I seen the Disclosure teaser? Oh, that's cool. Bird flew by your face. I'm like becoming less and less interested in like UAP disclosure stuff. I think that there's something really fucked up going on. I think that there's some sort of I'm starting to feel like all this shit is like a white noise psyop. I'm not sure till like what ends or why, but I just don't think it'll amount to anything. And the fact that Spielberg is doing a thing, and I forget his manager is like tied in with all this like UFO disclosure shit, from what I heard. There was that documentary that came out on Amazon a couple weeks ago or a week ago or so that was like fucking nothing. I just think something fucked up is going on, like some weird sort of sleight of hand, bad information shit. You know, even the 3i Atlas stuff, fucking like there's something or like running interference thing going on that I just don't. It makes me want to completely check out of UFOs altogether. I'll play the whole scene for you. So this is what I have so far. Hold on 1 second. Let me hit pause on the synthesizers. This is my stupid skit that I'm working on here.
Cut it out, Peter! Hey, stop it! Hey!
You slept with my wife, the mother of my kids!
I emotionally cheated on you with your wife. I don't even have the equipment, to be quite frank.
I don't believe you. Explain!
I'm a mutant frog. I reproduce through a process called parthenogenesis. I can't even bang.
Then what is that?
That's my outer belly button. Way to go, body shaming me, Peter.
I'm not stupid, Aohu. That's your penis.
No, idiot.
That's it. That's what I have so far. Oh. Yeah. I'm just, you know, I wrote this thing and I got my friend to do some voice acting on it, and I'm just gonna finish it, and hopefully it turns out okay in the end. And that's all I can hope for, really. But anyway, y'all, I'm getting super hungry. I haven't eaten lunch, and I have laundry in the dryer, so I need to change my laundry. So I think I'm gonna bounce. Been streaming for like 2 hours, but thanks for hanging out. That's what I've been working on. Just gonna keep working on this all day after I put my laundry in the dryer. All right, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.